They're reporting from Rajya ji Mark, telling us the latest as far as the former President APJ Abdul Kalam's funeral services are concerned. You can see over there on your screens right now his body covered in the Indian national flag, wreaths being paid to him, being put over there by his by the side of his body. And this is, of course, receiving former President Kalam's body at the airport in New Delhi. Okay, let's go across to Pranav Goswami. Just to recap for our viewers the developments that have happened over there. In fact, Pranav will just update us on what is expected. Pranav, as far as from here on, the funeral services are, of course, underway. So what are we expecting?
Very soon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be arriving here, and all dignitaries, including President and Prime Minister, and all different party leaders, they'll be coming here. And after that, the common people, they'll also be coming here. And you can see that there's a huge number of media crews here, and the common people also will be coming here. So obviously, this is a very big loss which nation is facing right now.
Absolutely. The nation indeed is facing a tremendous loss. Missile man Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam passed away after a cardiac arrest. Former President Kalam also was known as the People's President, and he died on Monday after he collapsed during a lecture at IIM in Shillong. In fact, Kalam, who would have turned 84 in October, was confirmed dead more than 2 hours after he was wheeled into the ICU of the Bethany Hospital in a critical condition following his collapse at around 6:30 in the evening. According to reports, former President Kalam suffered a massive cardiac arrest during the lecture at IIM Shillong. Considered the most popular president, President Kalam had become the 11th head of state and occupied the post between 2002 and 2007. And Pranav Goswami is over there at Rajya ji Mark, where President Kalam's body would soon be brought over there. Pranav, if you can just fill us in on, because the kind of response that we've seen across the country, the nation, of course, is reeling under shock and of the tragedy of the way and the sudden departure of former President APJ Abdul Kalam. What's the people's turn out there? What are the people saying over there? How are they remembering him?
This is indeed a very big shock for entire nation, and people are very sad. And they've been remembering APJ Abdul Kalam's contribution to this country. And he was a youth icon. He was very popular among school children. And obviously, nobody can speak even a word, because it's a very sad moment for everybody. And how much popular he was, we can understand this because probably we could not imagine that this much of crowd will be coming at his residence to see his body, and that is indeed a very big loss. And this entire nation is under the huge shock.
Absolutely, the nation under a huge shock. In fact, the impact that President Kalam had on everybody, from the ordinary citizens to political luminaries. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted that India mourns the loss of a great scientist, a wonderful president, and above all, an inspiring individual. Rest in peace, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He also said that Dr. Kalam, my mind is filled with so many memories, so many interactions with him, always marveled at his intellect, learned so much from him. And Dr. Kalam enjoyed being with people and youngsters adored him. He loved students and spent his final moments amongst them. Well, Pranav, what Prime Minister Modi has also said, and it's a very important point as far as the young people of this country are concerned. President Kalam was one figure that was almost hero worshipped over here. And despite the fact that he was of an advanced age, he still had so much energy, so much vitality, and he would always reach out to children. There are so many stories that have now come up across the internet about the way that President Kalam has impacted individual lives, changed individual destinies. Are there a lot of children who've turned out there? Are there a lot of young people? What's the kind of crowd that you're seeing over there at Rajya ji Marg?
Yeah, you must be remembering when Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, former president, retired from his post. He said, "I won't sit in my home and I won't be resting. And he was so enthusiastic, he was so energetic that he always wanted to serve this country. And that's why he said that I'll be teaching, I'll continue to teach the young children and school children. That was the reason that he could not sit at home, and he was always wanting, at his last breath also, he was actually attending that program in Shillong. And so we can say that he was a president who will be remembered as a common man president, and that was the reason that today, especially the youth of this country, is very sad, and they are obviously remembering his contribution towards his nation, and his contribution as an administrator, his contribution as a president office, and his contribution towards the field of science. So it is obviously a very big loss for this country, and that is not to be recovered. I think it cannot be recovered.
As the country is suddenly in deep shock right now. In fact, let's also check out what other leaders have said. Rahul Gandhi has put out on Twitter that he's deeply saddened at the passing away of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a man of many parts. He one of the hearts and minds of a nation with his warmth and wisdom. Arvind Kejriwal has written, very sad to hear that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is no more. The nation has lost a real Bharat Ratna. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has said that deeply saddened at the sudden demise of the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was an inspiration to an entire generation. He also has written that Dr. Kalam was a man of impeccable character, indomitable spirit, profound knowledge and firm conviction. Pranav, we've been talking about the political luminaries who've been tweeting out and telling us how their what the impact that President Kalam had on their lives. On your screens right now is, of course, scenes from a little earlier at the Palam airport where the wreaths were being paid and last respects were being given to the body of President Kalam after it arrived from Shillong. But Pranav, talking about the political leadership, what are they saying? How are they expected to come in? Have people already started coming in from the political leadership?
When Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam was nominated, he was nominated by NDA, that time NDA government in 2002. That time across the parties, he got 90% vote in that election. So you can understand his popularity. He was so popular, and is undoubtedly the one of the most popular person in political circle. And even he may be a candidate of NDA, but all parties, including left and all different ideological parties, they also supported him, and that's why he won. And after now, he is not with us, so we can say this, that today everybody, including political people, including common people, school children, they all are saying that APJ Abdul Kalam was, in fact, his doors, the Rashtrapati Bhavan doors were open all the time for everybody. So we can say that APJ Abdul Kalam was such a wonderful person, and that is why people are very sad, and this entire country is in a deep shock of his sudden demise.
Right. Let's just fill our viewers in on the details of all that has been happening. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's body will be taken from the airport where it is right now. You can see Prime Minister Modi paying his respects to the departed former president. And it will be taken to his residence at 10 Rajaji Marg, where our correspondent Pranav Goswami is, where people can pay homage to the people's president for 2 hours. The last rites for Dr. Kalam will be performed in his hometown Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. The former president's body will be flown to Rameshwaram early this evening. Both the Houses of Parliament have been adjourned today after paying tribute to Dr. Kalam. The Lok Sabha is adjourned till the 30th of July. The Cabinet will also hold a special meeting in New Delhi to condole the death of Dr. Kalam. The government has in fact declared a 7-day national mourning as a mark of respect for Dr. Kalam, who was also a renowned missile scientist and who played a stellar role in advancing India's nuclear program. As the nation mourned his death, Prime Minister Modi said that it is tribute that my mind is filled with so many memories, so many interactions with him, always marveled at his intellect, learned so much from him. The casket carrying Dr. Kalam's body was wrapped in the tricolour, and hymns are being played as it was carried to the aircraft in Guwahati. In fact, he was awarded the Padma Bhushan and the Bharat Ratna for his achievements. In fact, one of his other achievements was that he was nominated and won the MTV Youth Icon of the Year award in 2003 and 2006. This was when he was in his 70s. So you can imagine the kind of impact that Dr. Kalam has had on especially the young of this country. In fact, our correspondent Pranav Goswami is at Rajya Marg giving us the latest update from there. Pranav, if we talk about the sudden shock and the events that have transpired, I mean, on your screens right now, of course, just for the viewers, President Pranab Mukherjee paying his respects. So earlier, before that, there was Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari paying his last respects to the former President APJ Abdul Kalam. But Pranav, if we talk about what will happen from here now, for 2 hours, it'll be open. The general public can go and pay tribute to Dr. Kalam. So what would the timings be like? And if you can just go through a little bit of a timeline for us. So in case anybody who wants to go there and would want to pay their last respects to the former president can do so.
Former president's body will be brought here very soon, and after that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Pranab Mukherjee, Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar, all leaders will be coming here, including opposition party leaders, and they'll pay their tribute in 10 Rajya Marg. After that, around 4, that will be open for general public, and anybody can come and pay their tribute to former President APJ Abdul Kalam. After that, his body will be kept here, and after a few hours, his body will be taken to Rameshwaram. But this will be open for general public also after 4. And before that, all dignitaries, all senior leaders, all cabinet members, all political party leaders will be coming here, and they'll be paying their tribute to former president.
All right, just to fill in our viewers, as far as former President Abdul Kalam's life is concerned, he was the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. As a career scientist, he turned into a reluctant politician, but wasn't really ever that. He was a much-loved man. He was born and raised in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu and studied physics and aerospace engineering. He spent the next 4 decades as a scientist and a space administrator, mainly at the DRDO, that's the Defense and Research Development Organization, and Indian Space Research Organization, that's the ISRO, and was intimately involved in India's civilian space program and military missile development efforts. He thus came to be known as the Missile Man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missiles and launch vehicle technology. He also played a pivotal role in organizational, technical and political role in India's Pokhran 2 nuclear test in 1998 and the first since the original nuclear test by India in 1974. He was elected president in 2002 with the support of both the ruling BJP and the opposition Indian National Congress at that point of time. After serving a term of 5 years, he returned to his civilian life of education, writing and public service. He's received several prestigious awards, including the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. But what was really impactful about Dr. Kalam was the fact that his early life was so different, and he was such an inspiration to many because from where he came from, he did not have the best of starts in terms of he was not from an advantaged family. I'll just quickly run you through Dr. Kalam's early life to help you understand where he was coming from and what he did achieve. And he was born into a Tamil Muslim family in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. And his father was a boat owner and his mother was a housewife. His father owned a ferry that took pilgrims between back and forth between Rameshwaram and the now extinct Dhansukori. Came from a very poor background and started working at an early age to supplement his family's income. After completing school, Dr. Kalam used to distribute newspapers to contribute to his father's income. In his school years, he had average grades but was described as a bright and hardworking student who had a strong desire to learn and spend hours on his study, especially mathematics. After completing his education at the school over there in Ramanathapuram, Dr. Kalam went to attend St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, that's affiliated with the University of Madras, from where he graduated in physics in 1954. Towards the end of the course, he was not enthusiastic about the subject and would later regret for 4 years later that for 4 years he studied it. He moved to Madras in 1995 to study aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology. While Kalam was working on a senior class project, the dean was dissatisfied with his lack of progress and threatened to in fact revoke his scholarship unless the project finished within the next 3 days. And Dr. Kalam met the deadline, impressed the dean, who later said to him, "I was putting you under stress and asking you to meet a difficult deadline." He narrowly missed achieving his dream of becoming a fighter pilot as he placed 9th in qualifiers and only 8 positions were available. After that, he moved after graduating from the Madras Institute of Technology in 1960. Dr. Kalam joined the Aeronautical Development Establishment of the DRDO as a scientist, and he started his career by designing a small helicopter for the Indian Army, but he still remained unconvinced by his choice of job at DRDO. Kalam was also in the INCOSPAR committee, working under Vikram Sarabhai, the renowned space scientist. In 1969, he was transferred to ISRO, where he was the project director of India's first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, which successfully deployed the Rohini satellite in near-Earth orbit in July 1980. Kalam had first started to work on an expandable rocket project independently at DRDO in 1965. In 1969, he received the government's approval and expanded the program to include more engineers. In the 1970s, Dr. Kalam also directed 2 projects, Project Devil and Project Valiant, which sought to develop ballistic missiles from the technology of the successful SLV program. And he played an integral role in convincing the Union Cabinet to go ahead with these projects. And his research and educational leadership brought him on great laurels and prestige in the 1980s, which prompted the government to initiate an advanced missile program under his directorship. Dr. Kalam and Dr. V.S. Arunachalam, the metallurgist and scientific advisor to the Defence Minister, worked on the suggestion by the then Defence Minister R. Venkataraman on a proposal for simultaneous development of a quiver of missiles instead of taking planned missiles one after the other. Then Dr. Kalam also served as the chief scientific advisor to the Prime Minister and the secretary of the DRDO from July 1992 to December 1999. The Pokhran 2 nuclear tests were conducted during this period, in which he played an intensive political and technological role. Kalam served as the chief project coordinator along with Rajgopal Chidambaram during the testing phase. Media coverage of Kalam during this period made him the country's best-known nuclear scientist. However, the director of the site test, K. Santhanam, said that the thermonuclear bomb had been a fizzle and criticized Kalam for issuing an incorrect report, but both Kalam and Chidambaram dismissed the claims. In fact, in 1998, along with cardiologist Soma Raju, Dr. Kalam had developed a low-cost coronary stent named the Kalam Raju stent. In 2002, the duo designed a rugged tablet computer for healthcare in rural areas, which is called the Kalam Raju tablet. So, Pranav, as far as Dr. Kalam is concerned, I mean, just the background that he was coming from, it's indeed a journey that every Indian can aspire to achieve, that irrespective of the background that you come from, irrespective of what your father does, how much does he earn, what kind of education that you get, if you put your mind to it, if you work hard, and you can achieve anything. And that was always something that was Dr. Kalam's message also to young people, that go out and achieve and dream big and achieve those dreams.
Yeah, we have to remember that how much struggle he did. He was coming from a very poor family, and then he reached the highest office of this country. And he's been struggling, and he's been getting all his achievements throughout his career, and his contribution towards the field of science, towards the field of as an administrator, he was superb. and he was very popular among youth also. So we can say that he did lot of struggle in his life, and then also he could achieve what we've seen then, and he's a real inspiration in that sense that a youth can take an inspiration from his life, that whether you don't have any resources, then also people can achieve anything, and that is a perfect example. APJ Abdul Kalam's life was a perfect example of that kind.
Absolutely, he was, and he served as the 11th President of India, succeeding K.R. Narayanan. He won the 2002 presidential election with an electoral vote of 9,22,884, surpassing the 1,07,366 votes won by Lakshmi Sehgal. He served from July 25, 2002 to July 25, 2007. In fact, he won the presidency by such a huge margin, about 90%. There you can say on your screen right now, President Kalam's body being brought to his residence at Rajaji Marg. During his term as president, he was affectionately known as the People's President. There on your screens right now, on the left-hand side, that you can see the convoy that is bringing former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's body to his residence at Rajaji Marg, and over there, it will be open for the public to come and pay their last respects to the great departed leader. He was 84 and he died of a sudden cardiac. He was going to turn 84, this year, but he died of a sudden cardiac arrest at IIM Shillong last evening. A huge convoy of vehicles bringing the former president's body to his Rajaji Marg residence from 4 to 6. Common people would be allowed to come and pay their last respects. The body was received at the airport by all major Indian dignitaries, including the President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, the Vice President, Dr. Mohammad Ahmed Ansari, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there, and so were a whole host of other dignitaries from cutting across party lines, cutting across various political ideologies. One thing that Dr. Kalam managed to do was unite the people in his admiration. Pranav, just describe to us what is going on here on our screens right now. We're able to see the convoy that is bringing Dr. Kalam's body in. Two army vehicles also open big trucks which have the former president's body, one of them, and a whole host of cars also accompanying Dr. Kalam's body.
Yeah, we are expecting that very soon his body will be brought in this 10 Rajaji Marg, his official residence, and then Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming, President Pranab Mukherjee will also be coming, and they'll be paying their tribute. We all are waiting here, and you can see that there's a huge number of media people who are also waiting here, and it is expected that in the next few minutes his body will be brought in here, and after that in few hours, then when all political leaders, cabinet ministers, and all across all parties, they'll be coming here, they'll be paying their tribute, and then his body will be kept for general people, that they can come and they also can pay their tribute.
Absolutely, on your screens right now, the convoy with former President APJ Abdul Kalam's body moving towards his residence at 10 Rajaji Marg, where a whole host of dignitaries would come and pay their respects. Of course, it will be also open to the common public to come and pay their respects, because he was, after all, the people's president. And Dr. Kalam was also the 11th President of the Republic of India and moved into Rashtrapati Bhavan soon after he was sworn in on the 25th of July. He is the third President of India to be honoured with a Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian order, after becoming the President. In fact, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan and Dr. Zakir Hussain were the earlier recipients of the Bharat Ratna who later became the President of India. He was also the first scientist and also the first bachelor to occupy Rashtrapati Bhavan. During his term, he was affectionately known as the People's President. But after leaving office is there in your screens right now. This is President APJ Abdul Kalam's body as the convoy moves towards Rajaji Marg, crossing Dholakua area in Delhi right now. Should be there at Rajaji Marg in the next 15-20 minutes over there. After leaving office, Dr. Kalam had become a visiting professor at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, and IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Indore as well, and an honorary fellow of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He was also the Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, Professor of Aerospace Engineering at Anna University, and an adjunct at many other academic and research institutions across India. He also taught information technology at the International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad, and technology at the Banaras Hindu University and the Anna University. So you can imagine the kind of person that he was, who really loved the fact that education had completely transformed his life, and he ensured, and throughout his presidency or otherwise, he constantly ensured that he was always with students, always trying to teach them something, always learning from them. There are so many memorable quotes and so many memorable anecdotes that even common people have of Dr. Kalam, that it is surprising that one person could have had such a huge impact on the psyche of the entire nation. You can see on your screens how school children have lined up on the streets in New Delhi as Dr. Kalam's body travels from the airport to attend Rajaji Marg, where it will be laid to rest. First, dignitaries would come in and pay their respects, and then it will be open to the common public. From there, it would be taken to Rameshwaram, where that is his birthplace, where his funeral rites will be conducted. And school children standing there, braving the summer heat for a president that everybody loved, not just school children, people from all walks of life standing over there, paying their last respects to former President APJ Abdul Kalam. The 7-day mourning has been declared by the Government of India, and the Cabinet has also passed a resolution paying tribute to the former president. Amongst the interests that Dr. Kalam had, he also enjoyed writing Tamil poetry and playing the veena, a South Indian string instrument. He also listened to Carnatic devotional music every day and used to read the Bhagavad Gita, and was a vegetarian as well. Being an educationist, being an academic, Dr. Kalam's writings certainly have had a lot of impact on the Indian psyche. In his book, India 2020, Dr. Kalam strongly advocated an action plan to develop India into a knowledge superpower and a completely developed nation by the year 2020. He regarded his work on India's nuclear weapons program as a way to assert India's place as a future superpower. In fact, quoting from his book, it is very important to help understand his idea of India. He had written, "I have identified 5 areas where India has a core competence for integrated action. Agriculture and food processing was one, education and healthcare, information and communication technology, infrastructure, reliable and quality electric power, surface transport and infrastructure for all parts of the country, self-reliance in critical technologies. These 5 areas are closely interrelated and, if advanced in a coordinated way, will lead to food, economic and national security." In fact, it's also said that there was a considerable demand in South Korea for the translations of the books authored by him. He was not just the people's president over here in India, but certainly had an impact across the globe. Our correspondent Pranav Goswami is standing by. Pranav, we've seen the kind of scenes that we are witnessing as President Kalam's body is traveling from the New Delhi airport to his 10 Rajaji Marg residence, and people lining up on the streets, from young school children to people from all walks of life, coming out on the streets and trying to pay their last respects, to catch a glimpse of the people's president before he departs. We'll go back to Pranav Goswami. We're trying to reestablish that link over there, but it was quite interesting of how Dr. Kalam and tried to structure his life. He was completely a people's person and wanted to transform India, and wanted to do that by harnessing the power of the youth. In fact, this could give you an idea of the kind of person that he was, that he set a target of interacting with 100,000 students during the 2 years after his resignation from the post of scientific advisor in 1999. He'd said, "I feel comfortable in the company of young people, particularly high school students. Henceforth, I tend to share with them experiences, helping them to ignite their imagination and preparing them to work for a developed India for which the roadmap is already available." I mean, genius in Dr. Kalam was recognized pretty early. In fact, it's his 79th birthday was recognized as the World Student Day by the United Nations. He's also received honorary doctorates from about 40 universities. The government also honored him with the Padma Bhushan in 1981 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1990 for his work with ISRO and DRDO and his role as the scientific advisor to the government. In 1997, he received India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, for his contribution to the scientific research and modernization of defense technology in India. In 2005, Switzerland had declared 26 May as Science Day. That was his birthday, to commemorate Kalam's first visit to the country. He was also the recipient of the Von Braun Award from the National Space Society to recognize excellence in management and leadership of a space-related project. Let's just run you through what's been happening as far as the condolences are concerned. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has condoled the death of the former Indian President Dr. Abdul Kalam. Ahmed Patel, the Congress leader, has written, "The huge loss for the nation. Words fail me if I try to describe what a great human being he was." AIADMK Supremo and CM Jayalalitha has cancelled all her party programs for a week as a mark of respect to the former president. After 77, only Dr. Kalam was elected unopposed, is what President Pranab Mukherjee has said. And the Bihar Agricultural University, Kishanganj, has been renamed as the Dr. Kalam Agricultural University as a tribute to the former president. The Union Cabinet has condoled Dr. Kalam's death, saying India has lost a great son. You can see the latest visuals that are coming in right now of the convoy with Dr. Kalam's body moving towards Rajaji Marg across Delhi. We've seen various scenes of students and young children and people from all walks of life standing by the side, paying their respects to the former president. Schools across Bihar have been closed as a mark of respect for Dr. Kalam. Former Prime Minister H.C. Devagowda has condoled the death of Dr. Kalam. He said, "I knew Dr. Kalam very closely, such a patriotic scientist who wanted to strengthen the country to fight enemies. He wanted to strengthen the country from all angles, not in the field of defense, but in education and agriculture, as per his Vision 2020. In fact, the Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan will be renamed as the APJ Abdul Kalam Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan. Public holiday day has been declared in Telangana over Dr. Kalam's demise. The government has announced a 7-day state mourning in honor of former President APJ Abdul Kalam. However, there will be no holiday. All central government offices will remain open and no holiday has been declared. And the public can pay homage to Dr. Kalam from 3 p.m. onwards at 10 Rajaji Marg. There you can see the pictures of the casket containing the mortal remains of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam being taken from from Palam Airport to his residence 10 Rajaji Marg in a gun carriage.
Yes.
A slow-moving convoy that was met by a lot of people, school children, young and old, all turning out, paying the last respects. There from the visuals from the Palam Airport, from the Guard of Honor over there, President Pranab Mukherjee paying his respects over there. Hundreds of people have lined up all across Delhi. The entire route from Palam to Rajaji Marg has seen people who've come out to have a final glimpse of the people's president before the funeral rites are conducted.
थोड़ा सा लेफ्ट में डालेंगे। इसी तरफ जिप्सी के पीछे, जिप्सी के पीछे चलो। जैसे ही मोड़ आया ना, मोड़ के उधर भी शॉट मिल जाता। अब तो आ गया ना, जब मोड़ आएगा तो लेफ्ट। शॉट मतलब पीछे ना।
यहाँ 10 दादाजी मार्च पहुँचेगा। सबसे पहले जो वीवीआईपी यहाँ पहुँच रहे हैं, राष्ट्रपति मैंने आपको बताया 2:30 बजे यहाँ पहुँचने वाले हैं। साथ में भारत सरकार के बड़े मंत्री, सांसद, राजनीतिक दलों के नेता भी यहाँ पर एक करके पहुँच रहे हैं और उनके लिए एक अलग इंक्लोजर यहाँ पर बनाया गया है। और इस पूरे इलाके को आप देख सकते हैं कि सुरक्षा के दृष्टिकोण से बहुत
From parties across all party lines, people have come and are paying respects to former President APJ Abdul Kalam. Samajwadi Party leader Mulayam Singh Yadav, along with his son and UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, have come in to pay their respects to the former president at his 10 Rajaji Marg residence. The cabinet today passed a resolution condoling the death of Dr. Kalam. Venkaiah Naidu said that Dr. Kalam was a guide, motivator and philosopher to the entire nation. The Lok Sabha will be has been adjourned till the 30th of July. Members will be allowed to go and pay their last respects and attend the funeral of Dr. Kalam. So a whole host of Lok Sabha MPs would also be going over there to Rameshwaram to participate in Dr. Kalam's funeral.
अच्छा ये लो नहीं हो पाएगा क्या हेलो हेलो क्या कह रहे हो ले करूँ इसीलिए तो आगे उधर कर लो कितना से
मैंने राष्ट्रपति भवन में देखा था, राष्ट्रपति रहा है ना, ऐसी फोटो निकल रही थी राष्ट्रपति।
हाँ ठीक है आ रहे हैं।
हाँ लेफ्ट में रख, लेफ्ट में इसको ही मत करो, उसको करिए पुलिस वाले को। जब सागर को लीजिए यही एक मिनट, रोक ले, रोक ले, रोक ले, रोक ले।